While Goku, Vados, and Margarita continue their journey, Vados is still jealous because deep down in Vados, she feels something different about Goku. But Vados feels embarrassed every time she looks at Goku. Vados is thinking when Goku arrives and asks, "Hey, Vados, what are you thinking? It wouldn't be about me, would it?" Vados with flushed cheeks and stammery says, No, Lord Goku. I was wondering when we're going to leave. Had Margarita offering somewhere far away from here. Goku says, "Oh, come on, Vados. She even looks nice." Vados angrily responds, "You pervert." Margarita says, "You're not talking about me, are you, Mr. Goku?" Vados quickly responds, "You offered. We're not talking about you." Suddenly, in the distance, she sees a planet and says, "Mr. Goku, come quickly." Goku and Margarita run to see what Vados wants. Vados says, "Nearby, there's a planet. Let's land there. Is that okay for you, Sir Goku?" Margarita says, "Oh, hey, I'm here too." Vados angrily says, "Shut up." And so they go towards the planet. Hey, how's it going? Just here to remind you to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and stay well inside our entire universe of Dragon Ball. Without further ado, let's go back to the point. Minutes passed as he landed on a planet. They noticed that the planet is deserted, as if the inhabitants were gone or fled from it. The three of them starts walking and then stop. Goku says, "Stop. I feel a presence not far from here. Let's go there and find out what and who it is. No. Let's go there to find out what or who it is." At this moment, Vados speaks. "Mr. Goku, if you already noticed his presence, I imagine that he also noticed ours." At that time, Margarita says, "But if Mr. Goku wants to go there, then I'll accompany you." So Vados goes on to say, "Stop being like that. That's not what I meant. I meant..." At that time, Goku interrupts her and finishes her sentence. She meant that since they also know our location, it doesn't make any sense for us to go to him. And it's easier if they come to us. That way, it will give us time to have a strategy. Did you understand, Margarita? Goku walks up to Vados, squeezing her cheeks, and says, "You're a very smart angel." Vados, embarrassed by what just happened, she says, "So, Lord Goku, are you okay with me?" Goku says, "Yeah, Vados, we won't wait for them. Soon I think someone will show up, and things will get more interesting." Margarita, angry at Vados, says, "Hey, you just said that so Goku would stay close to you, right? Isn't it, you traitor?" Vados simply ignores her, and Margarita continues to say, "Come on, talk to me, don't pretend I'm not here." Vados continues to ignore Margarita, who decides to get some rest before something happens. While Goku is lying down, Margarita continues there and says, "Mr. Goku, you need me to do something for you?" Goku then responds, No, it's okay, thank you." Margarita continues to say, "Are you sure, Lord Goku? I can do massages if you want, affection in your hair, pets even, whatever you want." Vados hears this and says, "He already said he doesn't need anything, Margarita. Stop being inconvenient. Come on. Let's watch and see if nobody comes here." At that time, Vados and Margarita in front of the cube watching. At that same moment, they see a silhouette from afar, coming from afar as if they were running. Then Vados and Margarita grab their staffs and get ready. Margarita then speaks. "Vados, I must call Lord Goku." Vados with a serious face says, "Yeah." And so it was done. Margarita went to the cube and woke Goku. That silhouette got closer and closer. Goku, Vados, and Margarita are on the sidelines. In battle position, they are expecting the worst. So that silhouette approaches and we can see that it's nothing more than a little boy running amidst the immensity of the desert where they are. Goku says, "Calm down. It's just a kid. Why is he running around here? Maybe he lives nearby." In the distance, that little boy approached. At that time, Vados and Margarita lower their staff. Goku goes to meet the child and says, "Hey, who are you?" Their scared boy says, "Ah, who are you? What do you want? Why are you sent you, right? To destroy us! Back off, or I'll finish you off! Goku bends down and says, Hey, calm down. You can trust me. I won't hurt you. And I didn't come here to destroy you or your family. What do you do in this desert alone? Are you hungry or thirsty? I can get you something to eat and drink. And boy, without understanding much, decides to go with Goku. And then the two return to the Margarita cube. Can you give him something to eat or drink? Questions Goku. Vados, without even questioning, does what Goku asked. And the boy, after eating and drinking something, says, Thank you so much, Lord Goku. You're very kind, differently from the people here. Don't thank me. Thank Vados and Margarita. After all, they're the ones who prepared the meal. And Margarita is the owner of the cube. Thank them. As a sign of respect and appreciation, that little boy lowers his head and thanks them. Thank you very much, Miss Vados and Miss Margarita. Margarita is impressed by the boy's friendliness and says, Oh, Mr. Goku, can I have him? Goku responds, But of course not. You must have a family around here. And it's not like that just because he liked it. He can take it. And if he doesn't want to go on. Anyway, you cannot have him. Then everyone starts laughing. And for a moment, Vados shuts up and says, But boy, what is your name? And why are you coming like that in the middle of the desert? At that moment, the boy answers, Me? My name is Cherry, which means cherry. My mother gave me that name because when I was born, she said I was pretty much like a cherry. But she died. That's why I was running. I wanted to run away from here. They killed her, and she protected me until the end. Vados then continues to say, But who killed her, Cherry? A man who once hung out with a being just like the two of you, but now seems to have been taken away from him, so he's angry. And he took everything from us. Goku, upon hearing, says, Don't worry, Cherry. We will put you... No. Don't worry, Cherry. We will put you out of your misery. Can you show us where this man is? Cherry, still scared, says, But Mr. Goku, if I take you there, he will kill you too. And I don't want to see that happen again. Goku, in an attempt to calm Cherry, says, Don't worry, kid. I'll beat him, that's a promise. And so, the three follow Cherry to where that man is. At this time, it is possible to see that Cherry is afraid and is hiding behind her Margarita dress. And she says, Miss Margarita, are you sure everything will be okay? Will Mr. Goku be fine? He will be fine, won't he? Margarita then responds, But of course! Let me tell you that I'm still new traveling with Mr. Goku and Vados, but Mr. Goku is very strong. Yeah, he defeated Mr. Vermont very easily. You know, Mr. Vermont was my master as well. Just like the angel you said that man has. So Lord Goku and Vados managed to defeat my master. You can rest assured, Mr. Goku will win. You can be sure of that. Vados, listening to the conversation between Margarita and Cherry, completes what she says. Yeah, and he's stronger than before. Lord Goku's powers have increased exponentially since I first met him. So Cherry, are you better, more confident that Goku will win? No matter what happens, he has promised to win, right? Cherry's a little calmer and says, Okay, let's go with me. That man must be up there in that mountain car now. Goku then says, Come up, guys. Cherry, you don't have to come with us, okay? Let us take over from here. So Cherry, with a smile on her face, says goodbye to Goku, Vados, and Margarita. At that time, Cherry says, Good luck, guys! I'll be here waiting for you! And so Cherry runs away. Goku and the others continue to walk towards the mountain. Sometime later, they approach that place and feel a dark energy coming out of the mountain. Upon reaching the top of the mountain, Vados, Goku, and Margarita feel a sinister energy, as if the devil himself were there. Goku, as he approaches, bumps into a rock, which makes a loud noise. Boom! Vados says, Mr. Goku, silence, please! That way we'll be captured or killed easily. Goku scratches his head and smiling says, Sorry, but that stone was already loose. It wasn't my fault. And so they continue on their way. Upon reaching the top of the mountain, a grandiose palace can be seen. Goku, Vados, and Margarita approach carefully. Upon arriving at the front door of the site, Margarita suspects that something is not normal and says so.
Quiet, folks. We're being watched.
So at that moment, everyone is just watching. At that moment, when everyone is looking inside the palace, they hear a noise and footsteps. And they suddenly hear a voice.
Who dares enter my palace uninvited?
Despite hearing the voice, no one sees, nothing is, and no one. They again listen.
Who are you? And how dare you enter my palace?
At that time, we see a god of destruction. And he goes on to say,
Set them here. Wait, don't answer me. I will guess. A man with 2 angels. Ah, so you're the one called Goku God Killer, aren't you?
Goku at that time responds, Yes, I'm Goku. God of Destruction goes on to say,
So they sent you here to exterminate me, right? What a joke. The old man Zeno-sama is really going nuts. First take my angel, and now they send you to finish me off. Impossible! You are nothing more than just mortals. For you to defeat me, I, the great god of destruction from Universe 3 Moscow, do you really think you can finish me off?
At that moment, with anger rising in his heart, Goku says,
I'm going to tear you apart. Who treats a planet like that? Who kills the beings of the universes just because he's pissed off? The age of the gods doing what they want will end here! I will put an end to your misleads. The inhabitants of this planet, they're just tired of being objects of the hand of the gods to mix what they want and what they don't want, threatening and wanting to destroy our planets. It ends here. It ends now!
At that moment, a somber laugh is heard.
Do you really think you can come here and tell me how to behave? Is this a big joke? Isn't it, Zeno-sama?
Moscow says, looking up, as if he asking Zeno himself. At this point, Moscow stops laughing and becomes serious. In battle position, Moscow says,
All right, let's go fight, God Killer.
And then he charges at Goku, delivering a direct hit. Goku, who manages to dodge repeatedly, can hardly see his blows. So in his thoughts, he says,
He's fast and quick. That will be no problem.
At that time, Moscow continues to attack, thus giving several punches on Goku. It's impressive to see how Goku manages to dodge with that speed. At that time, Moscow gets angry because all of the blows landed, not a single blow was actually hit. So at that moment, Moscow changes his strategy. And instead of trying to hit Goku with his fist, Moscow strikes with his foot, giving Goku a kick full in the stomach. Goku recovers quickly and spits out some saliva. In battle stance, Goku stands up and saws off his fist. Goku joins his arms towards his waist and starts screaming.
Ah!
Goku begins to gather his power and by focusing his ki. Moscow looks at that and says,
Are you tired already, Mr. Goku? I can see you're gathering energy, and I haven't even started to warm up yet. Okay, let's have fun. I'm in a bad mood. My angels are gone. Okay, let's have fun because I'm in a bad mood and because my angel is gone.
Goku keeps ignoring the god of destruction. At that time, Goku, with the little energy he had already accumulated, manages to calmly dodge Moscow's blows. So Moscow at the moment says,
Great, Mr. Goku. I can see you're going to amuse me enough. But how interesting.
Goku, who was focused on just beating his opponent, says,
I am not a toy to satisfy your amusements. I will defeat you.
And he goes for his opponent without realizing it. Goku is already managing not only to dodge the blows, from Moscow, but he also already managed to fight back. Goku hasn't noticed since the last time his power has grown exponentially. Goku starts delivering several blows to his vital points. When landing a punch on Mosco's left arm, Moscow quickly has his arm paralyzed. Moscow, amidst the laughter, says,
You really are strong! You managed to hit a vital point. At this moment, my left arm is no use for me.
Goku starts to pant and says,
And I have more for you here.
Goku again focuses his energies and finally makes the God Killer transformation. Goku, with heavier steps, starts to go towards Moscow, who is laughing because Goku landed only one hit on the God. Moscow at this time says,
Come on, Goku. Let's see what you're capable of.
Goku then teleports up to him and starts unleashing some key spheres. Moscow, with a single arm, dodges and parries all of Goku's attacks and says,
Now I'm going to take you seriously, as you really are taking our fight very seriously.
Moscow begins to focus his energy and lands a blow on Goku's face that makes him spit blood, and then he drags him for miles. Goku was really having a hard time defeating Moscow, the god of destruction. At that moment, Goku returns to his base form completely without strength. Moscow grabs him by the hair and throws him forwards in directions of Vados and Margarita. Then Moscow stretches his arms and says,
Hakai!
Goku is unable to move and already sees his death. More suddenly, Margarita flies towards Goku and holds him. Moscow's attack hits her in the middle of her back. Vados screams,
Margarita! No!
Deafening silence takes over the palace. When Goku saw what just happened, he held her in the arms. Even before that energy of destruction dissipated, the energy caused some wounds on Goku's arm. And then he slowly puts it down and says,
Why, Margarita? Why did you sacrifice yourself for me?
Margarita, her eyes full of tears, says,
Because I love you. And my sister Vados too. Don't worry, Mr. Goku. You will find a way. My master now Vermouth is definitely waiting for me.
She looks deeply at Goku and says,
I started to admire you, Goku. And now I understand your motivations. I hope you manage to reach your goals, and maybe one day I will be able to find you again somehow.
Margarita's body begins to disintegrate, and then Goku kisses her. Margarita, she turned into ashes and was carried away by the wind. Goku, at that moment, with a lot of anger, passes to his second God Killer transformation. Barely gives chance for his opponent to recover and starts unleashing countless attacks, which causes Moscow armor to start taking considerable amount of damage. Goku attacks more and more, leaving it in small pieces. At that time, the true body of Moscow comes out, thus leaving the little god of destruction exposed. This little thing says,
You broke my armor! I will kill you! I will kill you!
Filled with hatred for what had happened to Margarita, Goku gathers his energy to the palm of his hand and unleashes a different ki with small shockwaves passing through him and says,
Die. Die all at once.
Thus eliminated yet another god of destruction. Vados goes to Goku and says,
Margarita! She's gone. What now, Lord Goku? What should we do?
Goku, with his eyes full of tears, says,
I'm sorry, Vados. I'm sorry I couldn't protect her. Forgive me. Vados, let's get out of here.
At that time, Goku and Vados go down to the mountain, towards the city where they had met the Cherry. Vados remembers that little boy and says,
Will we ever find him again?
Goku says, Well, I hope so. He's pretty cool, isn't he, Vados? At this time, Vados says,
Yes, Lord Goku.
And so Goku and Vados go down the mountains. Passing through the middle of the city, Goku and Vados feel observed. And Goku says, Are you feeling that, Vados? Vados answers,
Yeah, it is as if someone is watching us.
Just ahead, we see Cherry running towards Goku and Vados.
Hey, Mr. Goku, Miss Vados!
Says Cherry.
How are you? Are you alright?
Goku replies, Yeah, of course we are. Soon afterwards, Vados says,
Didn't I tell you? He's very, very strong.
Then Cherry speaks.
Yeah, Miss Vados no. Yeah, Miss Vados said that you are very strong. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, Mr. Goku. Miss Vados, I need to tell you something,
says the little boy. Vados and Goku look on with a look of curiosity. And Cherry raises her hand, and when passing in front of the eyes of the two, we see Margarita, which comes out of a little smoke. Goku and Vados get scared, and Cherry says,
well, I guess you couldn't leave her here, could you?
Goku and Vados don't give anything, and Margarita says,
hey guys, don't worry, I will explain.
She says this with a finger on her cheeks and her tongue sticking out like she just pulled a big prank. Meanwhile, Goku, Vados, and Margarita travel in search of the gods of destruction. Universe 7 will go through new conflicts where unimaginable things happen, thus changing everyone's destiny. It's been a long time since Goku left Earth in search of the gods of destruction. Vegeta stayed with his family, and the rest of the Z Warriors were responsible for taking care of the Earth. For a while, everything was peaceful. Beerus had wandered the galaxy for months and found a new purpose and goal. So in this period, the god decided to return to Earth. Beerus built his home. He created a sanctuary, or rather, a palace where he could contemplate the whole world. After all, he appreciated this planet a lot because he had lived incredible experiences here, but not for long. Along the way, he changed. After the traumas experienced by the divinity, he had evolved, and as he evolved, he became someone different. This being is the great and mighty Beerus. However, he is no longer known as Beerus the Destroyer. After all the journey he had, he contemplated the universes, and everything he could see, Beerus needed to be more than a destroying deity, but someone who would bring balance to the every world in every universe. So, he turned into Beerus the Accuser. He goes in several worlds bringing judgment to the beings that live there and the way they live. If that is a place where Beerus deems it worthy of existing, he will leave. However, if he deems that that world is not a place he deserves, he annihilates everyone, thus being the executioner himself. This new version of Beerus goes to Earth and begins to judge the beings there, who try to somehow surpass the judgment of Beerus the Accuser. At that moment, Beerus has an unusual wrath, because at that moment, a being that he thought was not worthy of living on the planet refused to accept their punishment. Beerus gave him two options. Number 1, accept your punishment and be destroyed. Or you can suffer fighting me in combat, and in this way you will prolong your suffering. But anyway, your end has come. That man facing Beerus was Piccolo, who was nearby preparing himself in training. But even without accepting that he should simply be destroyed, Piccolo knew he wasn't capable of facing Beerus. So at that moment, using his powers, Piccolo using his telepathy sends a message to Kame-sama from Earth and asks them to say the message to all the other warriors after Piccolo sensed that his end was near. Meanwhile, in the middle of another universe, still on that small gray planet, we see Goku, Vados, and Margarita and his new friend saying goodbye to Goku. After all, the girls needed to continue their path in search of the gods of destruction. The three follow their path and their cube towards the next universe and consequentially towards their next opponent. Many battles are yet to come. At the dawn of the universes at Zeno's palace, Sama, Daishikan, and Zeno are impressed with Goku's performance. After all, he had already exterminated several gods of destruction. However, at this moment, the news about Beerus the Accuser has just reached Zeno, who feels furious because Beerus had no right to judge, or if he wants to think about becoming something different from what he was, because that was the destiny that Zeno gave to him. The High Priest approaches Zeno and says, "Don't worry, Zeno-sama. Soon Goku will return to Universe 7, and this way, he will take care of Beerus. Apparently, he lost his sanity. Let's hope Goku doesn't decide to return too late. So whatever damage Beerus does will be reversible." Zeno-sama agrees and says, "Alright, let's wait a bit. But if it takes too long, I myself will erase the entire Universe 7 from existence." Daishikan just closes his eyes and nods in agreement with Zeno-sama. Goku, Vados, and Margarita traveling through the universes decides to go to Universe number 9. But Vados has a warning to give Goku. And at this moment, Goku observes everything around him, and then Vados says,
Lord Goku, we are reaching our destination, but this is a dangerous place.
and confused, Goku then decides to ask, but why would this be such a dangerous place? And she responds,
Due to the wormhole that transports space junk to hell. This is one of the oldest frontiers in existence, and there are remnants of hellish energy here. The gods and Lord Amadeo decided to leave a passage so that hell could release some of its toxins. So hell has this wormhole where it can be an entrance or an exit.
Goku remains confused and seizing his hat says, but in every universe there's a hell, right? Vados nods and agrees by saying, yes. And Goku continues, so it means that here is like a passage to hell in this universe, right? And Vados then begins to say,
Well, not exactly. This is a wormhole and a path that splits into several random trajectories where even if you know the beginning, you won't know the end. And as the hells of all universes are interconnected, it is possible that when passing through here, you can transit through the hell of any universe.
Margarita then interrupts them while saying,
Several criminals in the past came here to try to escape by fleeing to another universe through this passage, but they all got lost and stuck halfway through or were simply sent down to the underworld.
Goku looks in wonder at that immense light in the middle of the space and is amazed. Margarita, when observing Goku, begins to approach little by little, and Vados, with the corner of her jealous eye, she looks at him with a look of anger on her face. Until in the next few seconds, something incredible happens. Margarita was about to grab Goku and cuddle him. However, out of sheer jealousy, Vados turns the cube with great force, losing control for a few moments, long enough for them to be sucked into the wormhole's incredible gravitational force, being thus sent straight into the infinite unknown of that endless path. Goku, Vados, and Margarita are inside the wormhole, being pulled out of control. Goku tries to use his powers, but his energy starts to fail. Vados then scream,
Mr. Goku, if you try to use your powers now, the force of attraction pulling the cube will make us explode. And here in this frontier, whatever semi-annual powers are unstable, so don't use their transformation with Divine Ki.
Goku then just tries to hold on as they are pulled. Margarita takes advantage of the turbulence and starts to dizzy going towards Goku. Vados, with her staff, puts the tip of her face of Margarita, holding her, and says,
Don't you even try, you idiot.
After much shaking from side to side, the turbulence begins to stop and the cube stabilizes. Still inside the wormhole, they continue to travel aimlessly until a big collision happens and they land. They land in what seemed to be a flowering field full of vegetation. Margarita simulates a dizzy going from one side to the other saying,
Ooh, I'm dizzy. Wow, everything is spinning. Hold me.
And at this moment, she falls on the lap of Goku, who is embarrassed. Furious, Vados watches and says,
You idiot. The cube has stopped shaking for a long time. Stop pretending.
And Margarita responds,
I'm not dizzy with the cube. It's those eyes of Lord Goku that make me dizzy.
Vados then gets angry and goes over Margarita. But Goku is between the two and doesn't even let them fight. At this moment, the three are lost and have no idea where they are. Goku's ki is unstable due to the space distortion jumps, so he can't use his transformation. Vados then tells them,
We're going to stay here for a while and then we're on our way.
Goku looks around completely confused and with his hand on his hat says, I wonder where we are. This place is very strange but very family friendly. Looks like we're on... Before he finishes speaking, above a clearing, a familiar silhouette appears amidst the heap of flower petals. Planet Amadeo. At that moment, a great shudder took place on the planet of Amadeo. After seeing that 3 souls had arrived on the planet of the dead, Amadeo says, What strange thing is going on here? It seems that I am seeing extremely high power being emanated. But how could 2 beings like you be killed? At that moment, Vermouth, the god of destruction from Universe 11, and Liquid, the god of destruction from Universe 2, appear. Furious, Liquid says, I was defeated by Son Goku, the mortal of Universe 7. But this mortal is totally different from when I saw him in a tournament of power. He was more worthless, fighting without thinking about the consequences and even less fearing a god. The skills he was showing, it seems that not even the warriors who had been training for millennia would be able to reach that level of strength. What is happening behind of this warrior
It seems now that he's fighting more angrily for the gods, as if the gods have done something to him. He simply walked into my universe and attacked me and killed me. It seems that Son Goku has totally different thoughts and he wants to become a supreme being among all. And what's strange to me was that he said that Zeno-sama himself authorized him to do that mass destruction directly in his universe. So does that mean that everything that was happening has Zeno-sama's consent? Perhaps we should reflect which supreme god we would accept, since the great priest himself also decided this. As far as I know, to be chosen gods of destruction, we went through hard training, and now there are the god killers, all the famous god killers, and Goku became one of them? Does that mean that all of this would be necessary to bring about balance?
At that moment, Vermoth says, My gods didn't work on him. Those powers were totally different and beyond imagination that I could imagine. That Goku, this Goku is definitely not from this timeline. Because this mortal was extremely weak compared to a god of destruction when we saw him in a tournament of power. Now he appears here in extremely high powers, showing a level that no one has ever imagined. What is Beerus doing in the face of all this? At that moment of the kingdom of the Makaioshins, Beerus had finished the fight against everyone in the Makai Kingdom tournament. Haki, the god of destruction that had appeared in the Makai realm, withdrew and told Beerus that they would soon meet. Beerus says, If that's everything that ended up happening here made me even stronger, my Hakai form seemed to keep getting bigger. I think I have unfinished business. It's time to head back to Universe 7. At that moment, a great battle was about to take place. Goku was next to Vados and Margarita. Margarita says,
I need to regain my powers soon so I can do whatever I want.
Vados looks on and says,
Why are you here with us? I cannot understand.
Margarita laughs and responds,
I'm here just like you, my dear sister. Don't think it's just because of Mr. Goku. But my universe's god of destruction ended up ceasing to exist. So if I want, I can create the reality that is most interesting to me, and very well, I can also want to travel and roam whenever I want, since I have no more link with Universe 11 until the new god is undoing.
At that moment, Goku starts to observe and says, What? A new god of destruction? It makes no sense. I finished with your universe god of destruction. Vado smiles and says,
Well, I think it wasn't clear what was going on, Mr. Goku. Maybe it's time for you to discover the truth behind it all.
Goku begins to observe and tries to understand. Miss Vados, please explain to me better. At this moment, Vados says,
Well, you did kill Champa and soon after Liquid and Vermoth. They probably ceased to exist, or the souls of the gods of destruction were sent to other unknown planets. But what's always happens with the god of destruction is destroyed? Well, the balance starts to be undone. Since you are a god killer, your energy may be bringing a balance right now in this universe, but soon everything will start to change. That's why Zeno-sama needs to choose other gods of destruction. With that many things that can still happen, can you understand the gravity of all this, Mr. Goku?
Goku starts watching and speaks. So does that mean this will never end? Damn it. I can't believe so I'll always have to get stronger to finish off different gods of destruction. Margarita starts laughing and says,
But of course, Mr. Goku, because always a god of destruction is stronger than the other one is reborn. There are extremely powerful beings, and those mortals who are considered mortals with powers that can match the gods are those who will want to raise their energy even more. And I believe that many things can still change. But that would all depend on who will show their greater power. Zeno-sama and the Great Priest will continue to make their own decisions, so there are many things that will end up seeing that we cannot know exactly what will happen. But you can trust us, Mr. Goku. If you stay here with us, we'll know the best decision we can make.
At that moment, Goku starts to try to understand and says, But this doesn't make any sense. I really need to get stronger, but I think there's a place where I want to ask some questions. Margarita speaks.
What are you saying?
Goku says, it means that this information was brought because you know the gods of destruction and angels. But in this case, this was a rule created directly by Zeno-sama, right? So I think I already know how to do things differently. If I gather the Super Dragon Balls of this universe, I would be able to ask Super Sarah to change the rules of celestial gods. Isn't that true? At that moment, Vados and Margarita are amazed at the decision that Goku had taken. I'm sure this will help me resolve the timeline situation. Vados starts to think. It seems that something is making Lord Goku's head become more and more negative in questions of the gods. If he actually gathers the Super Dragon Balls and tries to do something like this, it might not only end the rule of the gods, but actually become the supreme god of everything.
Lord Goku, how far will your limit be?
Goku's smile breaks across his face. Goku watches everything and says, Now we get started. The first Super Dragon Ball is in Universe 6. Hit and all the other Universe 6 warriors are there. They didn't care that I defeated Champa, but maybe they won't accept the quest for the Super Dragon Balls. This will be a little more complicated than I thought. The challenge is out! Goku God Killer alongside Vados and Margarita goes back to Universe 6 in search of the Super Dragon Balls. Margarita says,
Mr. Goku, maybe that thought is a little wrong. If you do that right now, something's gonna happen in a way that maybe is not so foreseen at this moment.
Goku observes and says, What do you mean by that, Margarita? Vados interrupts and speaks.
Do you really want to gather the Super Dragon Balls so that you can change a heavenly decision that was created by the one who is supreme being of all, Zeno-sama? Zeno-sama at the moment trusts you, Sir Goku. Besides the great priest, if you think of doing something and gathering the Super Dragon Balls and the two find out what is happening, they would definitely want to turn against you and want to end it all, causing you to get into big trouble or maybe being eradicated. After all, Zeno-sama's spells or powers work extremely well against a God Killer. If you make any wrong step, it can't be destroyed.
Goku watches and says, Then what do you expect me to do, huh? The evils of the gods keep happening, and if we wipe out these gods, it could be resolved. But according to all these happenings, as soon as a god of destruction is destroyed, another new god of destruction appears to want to bring the balance. So this ends up making no sense. Goku tries to understand several points that have been taking place. Goku asks for Vados. What do we do then? Vados responds.
The smartest thing would be to acquire the trust of the gods of destruction, or rather, that of Zeno-sama. If you take out the gods of destruction the way he's asking, the new gods of destruction will try to start keeping the balance any way you choose. That way, you could enter into an agreement with Zeno-sama, being the true God Killer, that if any of them stepped out of line, you would take care of the whole situation. It would be a smarter way. It would be a smarter way, because any mistakes you made could be erased. What do you think about this?
Goku starts laughing, at the same time gets serious and says, I think I'm starting to understand, Vados. Goku had his understandings of what to do next to Margarita and Vados. At that moment, directly in Universe 7, Beerus arrives at his homeland. Beerus notes that the energy of other gods of destruction had been erased, and at the same time, Beerus goes to his planet of destruction and sees Whis. Beerus asks, What's going on here, Whis? I feel that the energy of others... What's going on here, Whis? I feel that the energy of several other gods of destruction ended up being erased, and with that, big problems could be created. I can't really understand what's going on. Looks like Goku ended up boosting his powers even further with that weird God Killer transformation. Whis responds,
Oh, Lord Beerus, how long while you were away, many problems appeared around here. Even Frieza became an apprentice of God of Destruction. Several warriors wanted to replace you while you were away. But that is beside the point. From what I can see, there are very complicated things going on here. In fact, if we're going to take Mr. Goku seriously, who decided to get angry with all the gods and little by little ending god by god of destruction one by one, What do you think will happen? Your brother Champa, the god of destruction Liquir, and also Vermoth have also been erased for their entire existence in accordance with the god killer skills of Mr. Goku.
An enraged Beerus says, "What? What do you mean? How dare you? Who does he think he is to be able to do that to a Gaishin? I would never accept Goku doing that. That miserable. How dare you, Goku? This is all your fault, Whis! I said it was a mistake to train mortals who dare to challenge a god. That should never have happened. Let's fix it. The gods of destruction are here to bring balance, and how dare ye want to attack one by one? Goku, if you had come to face me, I myself would have ended your entire Son Goku existence. It's enough for me. I myself will fight them." At that moment, Whis says,
Mr. Beerus, please calm down. Well, maybe Goku has exact reasons for wanting to do something. If you'd stop to think about it, there are many things that end up happening within all these universe, and on the one hand, I'm used to having you by my side during all these times. I wouldn't like it either if we were defeated too. But it seems that some changes ended up happening. Zeno-sama ended up thinking a totally different way. So I believe that the real solution is to show Zeno-sama and also God Killer Goku that their decisions are wrong. They think the gods of destruction just bring balance. But maybe it would be good if we showed them that the real reason why the gods of destruction exist. They need to know the real universal imbalance.
Beerus starts to watch and says, "What do you mean by that, Whis?" At this point, Whis says,
Do you remember that millennia ago there were some supreme celestial gods and what they did last time with everyone?
Beerus responds seriously, "You're saying that we should free the portal of the celestial ancient gods, so that everything is shown to them the real chaos?"
Whis smiles and says, There's something you might not know, Mr. Beerus. I'm talking about King Zaras. King Zaras, the ultimate Saiyan who was once the god of darkness out of control. He could still bring the gods of time and space to one side. The powers of these two gods combined were said to cause the essence of great warrior to be brought forth. This warrior, for some reason, perhaps due to his lack of responsibility and personality, couldn't do much and had thoughts just like those of a child. I'm talking about Zeno-sama. That would be the essence of the gods of time and space. Unleash the power of the two, bring them back, and so they could see the importance of the gods of destruction to bring balance to the planet so that Zeno-sama doesn't end up losing his control. It's a very simple way. They're sealed in a parallel universe accordingly. All you would have to do is to break the seal. Let him start by trying to annihilate these gods. That is, if he can.
Beerus watches everything and says, "But if that ends up happening, what will happen if they eliminate Goku?" Whis watches and speaks.
This will have to be what Zeno-sama will do. Or will you want all the other gods of destruction eliminated since Zeno-sama himself authorized the elimination of you?
Beerus starts to laugh and says, "Ha! I mean, then it's a risky thing that's going to happen. Alright, so let's start, Whis. That would be madness. The release of the two supreme gods who made the creation of Zeno-sama. Let's do this." Universe 6. Beerus the Destroyer had finally arrived on the battlefield. Beerus was at Whis' side after Whis spoke about all the events that occurred on Earth. Beerus understand that Whis was on the side of the Z fighters, while threats from the Makai realm had appeared. But Whis says,
Mr. Beerus, I didn't quite understand when Mr. Goku returned to Mr. Vegeta's side directly from the Makai Kingdom and said that he would end the gods of destruction. In fact, I don't know what happened in the Makai Kingdom, but Lord Goku has returned in a totally different form. I don't know if it was the battles that took place or what ended up happening, but it seems that Lord Goku is not the same as before. So once Zeno-sama is at his side, it looks like that a brief war is about to break out. But some things will have to be changed. That is, if you and the other gods of destruction want to stay alive, because there are still many things that could happen in a completely different way. What do you have to say to me, Mr. Beerus?
Beerus watches and speaks.
I don't think I have much of a choice. Let's go to Zuno, the one who knows everything. If we think about gathering the Super Dragon Balls, it will take a lot of time over all things. I think we better resolve the situation as soon as possible, Whis.
Goku performed his training alongside Margarita and Vados. Goku says, "Well, I'm sure the other gods of destruction are unleashing their powers more and more. It's not just because I defeated Liquid, Champa, and Vermort that I could defeat the other gods of destruction with ease. If I'm not mistaken, Kitela, the god of destruction from Universe 4, has powers similar to those of Beerus and the other gods of destruction. We don't know his abilities either. I learned that even the gods of destruction from Universe 3 is extremely powerful. So we have to be much more careful. Yet the gods of destruction may be wanting to accomplish something through it." Vados looks on and says,
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Champa couldn't even use his Akai form against you, Mr. Goku. He didn't believe in the power of his God-killer form. So if we think about it and analyze this whole situation, it may be that there is a great skill and great powers of enemies that can get even stronger. We need to pay close attention because the gods of destruction are not stupid, and they will definitely think of something to want to attack you. As long as Zeno-sama does not interfere in the battle, everything's fine. But Zeno-sama and Daishi-kun are relying on you so that you could resolve this whole situation. Come on, don't let them down.
Goku begins to fight Vados, trying to increase his power more and more. Goku says, "The power of the gods of destruction are fine, but the skills that are mentioned, and they are extremely incredible. I cannot understand all this level of power. It seems that he can end everything at any time he wants. The level of angels are really amazing. It means then that even using the mastery of Ultra Instinct, the angels manage to perform extremely high powers. So this force that is capable of anyone. I still want to be as strong as you, Miss Vados. I'm sure Mr. Whis is pretty powerful too." Margarita observes and speaks.
That's because you haven't seen the strength of Universe 11, Angel. I'm extremely powerful too. Maybe even more powerful than the two dear little brothers. Am I?
Vados starts laughing and says,
Never, dear sister. Not even with your trickery. I also possess a very high skill, and I will show you what I'm capable of.
At that moment, Goku begins to feel a great pressure of energy. Goku says, looks like something weird is about to happen here. Wait, I feel a great power coming here. I feel the energy of Mr. Beerus. Damn it, is he back from the Makai realm already? Vados observes and says,
I think you better not try to do anything because we're with you here. Whis is definitely watching everything that's been going on. Whis is very smart and he is very loyal to Mr. Beerus. The Destroyer has returned from the Makai Kingdom. Surely he has some ideology about all this. We need to really think about the things that are going to happen. If I were you, I would try to be careful, Mr. Goku. A god of destruction and an angel from Universe 7. Perhaps they are the most powerful beings of all this threat that you believe is taking place.
Goku watches and says, I'm not afraid that it's Mr. Beerus. Although I've already been defeated several times by him, I'm sure that now with the God Killer powers, I have enough energy to defeat him. I will be able to show my true potential and my true abilities. After all, I am Goku, the Saiyan of Universe 7, son of Bardock. Vados starts to smile and says,
Well done, Mr. Goku. That's how you say it. I'm proud and I want to see how far you'll be able to push your powers.
At that moment, many things begin to happen in a somewhat different way. Directly in Universe 6 in the Palace of Zuno, the one who knows everything. Beerus says,
Zuno, I need you to answer some questions.
Zuno says, I can only answer your question if you guess what goes into the puzzle that I'm going to give you.
Beerus starts looking at him with a serious look and says, I don't have time for puzzles. Zuno responds, well, if you don't answer my puzzles, I won't reveal the whole truth to you. So you have two choices. One, or answer. If you don't answer, you won't know the truth. At that moment, Beerus angrily says, I know you are a supreme being from this world, but please excuse me, because I don't have time for these jokes. At that moment, Beerus points his hand in front of Zuno, energizing a gigantic Hakai. Zuno says, all right. I'll give you the answer to whatever question you want, but please don't do anything here with me. Whis says, it seems that Mr. Beerus is quite angry with the situation, since he wants to end everything and doesn't care that he's talking to a celestial being. At this point, Beerus says, I need to know the true location of the Supreme Saiyan Zana, and also where he left sealed bodies of the two Supreme Gods of Time and Space. Zuno observes and responds, I am where I am not, and where I am not. No matter how much time passes, I will still remain the same. At this point, Whis says, still, even though Beerus points a Hakai at him, he's trying to make some pun. Beerus is enraged and says, stop it and quickly answer me! Otherwise, I will use a Hakai on you! Again, it is spoken. I am where I'm not, and where I am, I'm not. I'm the one who doesn't know anything, but at the same time, I know everything. I'm the one who does what he thinks has to be done, or ends up doing nothing. Who am I, and where I am? Beerus starts to get more and more confused and says, it doesn't matter! Enough is enough! I'll finish you off! At this point, Whis starts laughing and says, oh, that makes so much sense, Mr. Beerus. Don't. I already know where they are. To be continued. What's going on? What do you mean Whis managed to solve Zuno's riddle? After all, where is the location of the Supreme God Saiyan Zana and the bodies of the Supreme God of Space and Time? Regardless of what it is more than important that you arrive here, exposing it in your comments so that we can enter into that crazy debate. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.